Well, welcome to Scam of the Week. We have some beauties for you. David McBride, the Afghan war crimes whistleblower, his sentencing. We have the anti-China brigade spoiling for a brawl again with the Northern Republic. We have the crackdown on money launderers, and we have the government's gas plan to assist foreign multinational tax avoiders and cook the planet. It's an embarrassment of riches, as so often is Scam of the Week. But we did take a particular liking, however, to the latest from the warmongers. Here they were again, the usual suspects spoiling for a ball with China, like the pipsqueaks in the playground taunting the bully, like the Monty Python Black Knight. Come on, we'll have ya. Thundering about those nasty Chinese, being aggressive to us noble Aussies, minding our own business, just 8,535 kilometres away off the coast of China. What had happened? A Chinese aircraft had released flares along the flight path of the Australian Defence Forces helicopter. Nobody was hurt, but the picture, yes, the picture tells the story. Check out this. This is where the flares were released. In China's exclusive economic zone, a long way from Australia's army barracks. What was this chopper doing there anyway? How did it get there? It must have had very large fuel tanks. It didn't matter. It was an act of Chinese aggression. It was Labor's fault, said the coalition's media patsies. They're weak on defence. You rarely get to the truth of these things quickly. National security and all that stuff. NatSec. Can't say too much. But just imagine if this was a Chinese helicopter flying around Lord Howe Island. Imagine the uproar. Imagine the hysteria. Now, we got to Canberra early this week. We did the road trip down to the nation's capital for the sentencing of Afghan war crimes whistleblower David McBride. The only person to face jail from all the ADF murders in Afghanistan from that long campaign. But the final decision has been delayed until Tuesday, which is incidentally budget day. But the Crown has reduced its calls for a custodial sentence from life, eternal life, to 2 to 4 years. And although the judge had thrown out McBride's defence of public interest and forced him to plead guilty back in November, the hearing was a chance, ironically for the SAS lawyer, to put his case that he went through the proper channels, ticked all the right boxes, petitioned the ADF's Inspector General, but his calls were ignored, and he felt the proper process was not being pursued. Secondly, he believed that, he had disobeyed orders, the orders of his superiors, by leaking information to the press about Afghan war crimes and other things. The failure of administration of justice. But he believed he was doing it for the right reasons, said his lawyers. There's an incredibly important principle here, and one which may lead to an appeal despite the outcome on Tuesday, and that is that Justice David Mossop had ruled against McBride last year on grounds that a soldier had disobeyed orders and leaked this confidential information. But what if a soldier is ordered to ignore murders and rape? This is pre-Nuremberg trial stuff, ruling that it's a lawyer's duty to ignore the court, to ignore the public interest, to ignore the truth, and to cover up war crimes if those were his orders. It's high court stuff, really. And it was a paradox that although his defence had been junked by the judge, that he had a chance to put his case in sentencing when it came to character references and motivations and intent. Next Tuesday will be a big day in the history of justice in Australia, no doubt overshadowed by the already massively leaked budget. Finally, Ruse of the Week, the government leaked its future gas strategy plan to fossil media, which obeyed their orders, which did their duty and wrote it up nicely. Oh, we need gas to keep prices low. We need to keep on drilling for gas in order to produce supply of gas, so that will bring down prices. Well, that hasn't worked, has it? Thanks to export price parity. The great lie here really was that, and there were a number of them, as we have exposed in the last video, but Australia is the biggest LNG exporter in the world. This is a complete scam by the fossil fuel foreign cartel and its government mates. It will keep energy prices higher for longer, and it will cook the planet. It is a shocker. Check out our latest video, which goes into the detail of what's happened here. And then, just quickly, there's the crackdown on money laundering, of course, subject to another video earlier this week. Lawyers, accountants and property developers, the money laundering lobby, for 17 years they've been dithering over these laws, introducing laws to curb money laundering by lawyers, accountants and property developers. And what have we now? Well, we don't really have a crackdown. It's a crackdown in name only. We've got more dithering. What we actually have is a consultation paper inviting stakeholders, interested stakeholders, to engage, put their view. And already the Australian Law Council, the Law Council of Australia rather, has said that it's praised up the government for the loopholes that it's managed to eke out of them in the consultation process, which has been going for years. Anyway, the AML legislation was promised in 2006. Check out that too on the West Report video. Suffice to say that the heat on property prices from money launderers is still on. Been a huge win for foreign lobbyists this week. But it's hard to go past the gas plan for sheer cheek, and so it wins the nomination for Scam of the Week. Higher electricity prices for longer. You know, when we started this caper, this independent media caper 8 years ago, we declared that a key function of independent media would be to report on the rise of corporate power over democracy. It was a bit of a punt at the time. We saw the signs emerging, but it was a heck of a punt because we are well and truly in the age of crony capitalism. And during that time, the media, the institutional mainstream media, the fossil media, as we call it, has only got closer to government. Corporations, government, media fused in one. Independent media is very important, so if you can support us, please do. And please like, share and comment in the section below.